How you doing, everybody? I'm Kitt Kiarie and welcome back to another video. Today I am joined by my aunt, Kitty Onyango. Hi. So there's people who call me Kitty and I'm like, look, I literally have a person in my family called Kitty. Just call me Kitt. Right. Here she is.
That's Kitt with a double T.
Yeah.
And mine is Kitty as a K-I-T-T-Y.
Exactly. And that's what people call me.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Kitty is a parenting and homeschooling coach. She is the first person who I knew about homeschooling from. She homeschooled all my cousins, 5 of them, until university. 2 have cleared. 3 have cleared. And you're still homeschooling.
I'm still homeschooling.
Yes.
Last 2.
Right. And now today we're going to talk about how to talk so that children listen. Right. Sometimes I feel like it just needs a base. Like, do I need to? Because I'll say something, nothing. Martin will say something,
nothing.
End of story.
Right.
Kids are doing da 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 da. And
right,
I'm like,
right.
Is it the bass? Is it the tone? Like,
right.
Do they not physically hear me?
Right.
What is the issue?
Right.
So that's what we're getting into. And if you like this kind of content, don't forget to like and subscribe and share with somebody who you think it will benefit. All right, let's get into it.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I'm a parent. As Kitt has introduced me, I enjoy parenting. I like children.
That's the difference between me and you.
Really?
I don't particularly like children.
Oh, I like children. I like the ones who are raised well. You know, they know how to engage. They're respectable. They're confident.
Yeah.
I like them. I like to, talk to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, nobody likes brats.
No, I just don't seek out children at all. Even like in a party or whatever, I will never like walk up to children and be like, hey, never.
So that's me. That's me.
That's you.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, exactly. And I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I tell them stories as well.
Yeah.
Right. So, how to talk so that children listen.
Yes.
This comes out of the bigger subject of intentional parenting.
Yes.
When you parent, you have to be intentional, because what we're doing is actually raising the next generation. And when we are old, they're the ones who are going to be running the show. So we want it done well. You want to engage, when you're talking to children, your children, whether you are their parent or their caregiver or
neighbor,
because we bring children up in a village. Their teacher.
Although nowadays you've seen that's not really in.
No. It is completely out of fashion to bring children
And
up
I'm
in a village.
just like, you people are having a laugh.
Yeah.
You have no idea what you're creating.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
And we are
not.
Emulating a society that's literally not working because of that's how they did it. Everybody, each man for himself, each family for itself, no village.
Yeah, no village. We need a village. You can't. This is not a man solo job. It cannot work as a man solo job.
And it's always that thing of, can you imagine your child only behaves well when you're around? When are you around?
You're not. That's why you employ help in this way or that way. And even schools consider children as customers.
Yeah.
That's just the new view of children in schools as customers.
Yeah.
I really don't know how that works. I used to help volunteer at Sunday school. I stopped.
You were just like,
Stop.
what's the issue? What is happening
I
here?
can't do this. And I remember one time, because I'd taken my little daughter in, at the time she could have been about maybe 6.
Yeah.
I took her in and she didn't want me to leave, so I decided to sit in and be the assistant here. And there was a group of just bad boys. And one of them was especially naughty, and he refused to listen. He refused to respond. And I thought at the end of this, when his parent comes to pick him up, I'm going to tell the parent how his child is behaving. And when the parent came, I was like, oh my gosh, the fruit does not fall far from the tree, and I left it. And I said, I can't do this. Leave people with their own.
Yeah.
Just keep on moving.
Yeah. Just keep it pushing.
Just keep, yeah.
And my biggest fear, and I tell these guys all the time, that person is raising potentially somebody my child is going to bring home.
Yeah.
This is my boyfriend. This is my girlfriend.
Yeah.
That's literally my biggest fear.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, I want to help society, and as much as I can. I don't know everything. I'm not putting myself in a position of know it all or I'm better than, but I know what's not going to work.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So we have to participate. We have to do something.
You have to participate. You have to be intentional, and you have to be the community. We all want to be in community, but we don't want to
be responsible.
Yeah,
that's the word. To be responsible. Educating children, you get a lot of satisfaction.
Okay.
Because children are born having an innate curiosity and deep thirst for knowledge. And when this is nurtured correctly, nurtured through meaningful conversations, you create the foundation for really great personal and intellectual growth. And that's what we want. I think everybody wants that for their children. You want somebody who's capable. You want them to be clever. You want them to be strong. You want them to have some sort of empathy as well.
Yeah, emotional intelligence as well.
Emotional intelligence, yeah. Emotional intelligence. Yeah, so that's the aim. Right. So this is done through, so when you communicate with your people, it's done through, being clear, being responsible, and being empathetic. So the things I'm going to talk about really fall under these three subjects. Okay. Yeah, being clear. So sometimes when we speak to, when you call your little person to, and you want them to do something, and they ignore you. Yeah. And they're not listening to you. No. And then you call them again, and then they still ignore you, and then you raise your voice, and there might be some sort of movement. Yeah. And then when you get up and begin to march towards them, is when they stop and then they turn to you. Yeah. So that means that you have created that. Okay. Yeah. Because it means that you didn't set up the space in which they immediately respond when you call them. Yeah. So that's your tone, and that's your being intentional. Okay. So that starts off by being clear on what the modus operandi here is. Yeah. So you create expectations. So the first thing you're doing is, this is how, especially if you're coming from a place where they're not listening to you. Yeah. And then now you get word, okay, so this is who I need to be, and this is how I need to do it. Yeah. So then when you know more, when you know better, you do better. That's right. Right. So you call a meeting. This is why you have a dining table, or wherever it is you call your meeting. You call your meeting with little people. And you say, sorry, I've been yelling, I've been upset, blah, blah, but this is how we're now going to do this. Okay. Every time I call you, you respond immediately, and you come immediately. Yep. Right. Yep. Is everybody clear about that? And then they'll say yes. Yes. And then you say, if you don't, right. There always has to be a consequence. Don't just right. You must say, when you do, this happens. When you don't, this happens. Right. Right. So you have to, however it is you guys in your homes, set up your consequences. Yeah. You say, this will be the consequence. I'm going to smack you. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to pull you aside and I'm going to smack you. And I'm going to do it immediately. Yeah. Yeah. So then you ask them, did you get that? Right. Yeah. So if I call you and you don't come, what will mommy do? Yes. Or what will daddy do? Yeah. You will smack. Yeah. Right. Right. Fine. So then, you disband the meeting. Yes. And off they go. Yes. Then you call this person. Yeah. And then they don't come. Yeah. And then you get up to where they are, and you ask them, remember what I said? What did I say? Yeah. And they will tell you, you said, okay, so I'm going to smack you. And you smack. Okay. Shock.
Okay, so you have to follow through with whatever consequence that you laid out.
You have to follow through immediately. It cannot be later, it cannot be tomorrow, it has to be right now. You follow through the consequence.
Yeah.
By the time you're doing that the third time, this little person gets it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So whatever consequence it is, and this is something that I teach also in my sleep training class, whatever consequence it is, it has to be able to be done everywhere. Because I don't want my child anywhere, in any location. Because you don't want your child to learn that the consequences are only for home.
Right.
But when I'm in the supermarket, I can throw things off the shelf.
Right.
When I'm at grandma's house, I can scream and slap people.
Right.
When the consequence has to be the same, and it has you need to be able to give the consequence wherever you are. And me, I travel with children.
Right.
And I know if I don't have a handle
Yeah.
on whatever with,
you will hate your life.
There's no way I'm going with this person.
Yeah, you hate your life.
Yeah.
So I did that from early on.
Okay.
My first, so my oldest is 24, going 25,
Wow.
and then I have 23 years. Going 23, just turned 21. So when I had those first three, I really did it like that. I was everywhere with them when they were 5 and under.
Yes.
And people wondered how I did it.
How you did it.
But I had to set the rules because I wanted them to experience my life. Like you.
Yeah.
I want to go everywhere with them.
Yeah.
I want them to experience life in
in
every
its
way that I'm
totality.
Its totality.
Yeah.
So I know people who just don't want to be around their children because they've not set that up.
I mean, your children are awful.
Yeah.
If your children just run all over you and you can't go anywhere with them, well, that's your result. They didn't come out like that.
Yeah. And I remember hosting, when mine were little, I remember hosting a couple of children who would be difficult. And I was very clear that mine would never be that way. That when I send mine over to visit in my absence or visit for a sleepover, they're not going to give you this kind of an experience. I want that when they arrive, they know, they're just aware of who they're supposed to be.
Yeah. They're children, yes, but within certain parameters.
That's right.
Yeah. Do you know what I also found very helpful in terms of learning a new behavior? Practicing it without, like, I don't actually need you, but we are practicing. It's a drill.
Right. See that again?
So let's practice. So we do the meeting with the children. When I call you, this is going to happen. If I don't, this is going to happen. If you don't, this is going to happen. If you do, this is going to happen. Let's now practice.
Right.
When I call you, okay, now I'm going to call you. Ready? Yes. KO.
Right.
And then you come. And then, very good. Next. Candy, ready? Yes. Candy. And then you come. Okay. So now you can change this. You can adjust that. This, that, and the other. So the practicing, like drills after the meeting, I found really helps children because there's no anxiety of the consequence.
Right.
From me and them.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to have to administer the consequences.
I also don't want to administer consequences all the time.
That's
really.
right.
Yeah. So the practicing and I have to let them know, okay, now we're practicing. Let's practice.
Right.
Yeah. And especially come quickly.
Right.
Or walk slowly.
Right.
That's big practice for children because you're running and I'm like, no, you need to slow down. Or you need to come very quickly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember doing that with my now 16-year-old. Because the age difference between him and his sister, I think is about 8 years. So by the time I was bringing them up, I'd sort of gotten a little softer.
Tired. You're tired.
And I realized at some point, my gosh, I need to. So I used to do that. I remember one time driving out, and he wasn't listening to me, and I'd driven out of the gate, and then I stopped and I said, out of the car, let's get out of the car, let's practice. I said, walk until that hedge there. Okay, then he'd keep, and then I'd say stop, and then he wouldn't stop, and then he'd keep going, and then let's do it again.
Let's do it again.
Okay, walk, stop, then he'd stop.
Yeah.
Then I'd say turn around. He wouldn't turn around. He'd keep walking. I said, let's do it again.
Let's start again. Yeah.
So walk, stop. Walk. Turn around. So when he got that, I was like, okay, let's get it.
Exactly, because a lot of people don't recognize the foresight it needs. You need to keep your child safe.
Yeah.
When you tell your child stop.
Yeah.
They need to stop in their track.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they are running towards a car.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're running towards a dangerous situation.
Yeah.
And children need to listen quickly so as to be safe. It's not anything to do with control. It's not all this new age, let children live their life. Children will die if they don't listen to simple instructions like stop or run. You know, I want to make my own decision. No, there is a snake. Run!
For crying out
For
loud.
crying out loud. Yeah.
So when you're saying this new age way of doing things, every
Gentle
generation,
parenting.
that's right. Every generation thinks they'll do it better.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
And so you grew up experiencing being handled in one way.
Yeah.
And you've decided that when I'm raising my children, I want to do it that way.
I'm not going to do it like
So
that.
then you swing to the other end of the pendulum.
Yes.
Where you just let things, there's too much permissive parenting. Other people, the village can't engage in helping you.
No.
Just can't engage.
You know, somebody one time said, I know we've gone off topic, but this is so fun. You know, somebody once said that they were telling a child on the street, stop playing. The child was chasing a ball across a busy road. And she said, stop doing that. Get off the road. And the child yelled back, you're not my mother.
Right. I think I'm in the place where I am confident enough to tell that child, I am not going to be subjected to seeing a bloodbath. Get off that road.
Now.
Right.
Number 2.
So, blaming and accusing. When you're having a conversation with your child about...
Are you about to shout at me?
For
blaming and accusing.
You don't blame and accuse when you are correcting someone
okay.
for a misdemeanor.
Right.
You had said, for instance, don't leave your Lego behind the car.
It's the skates.
Right, the skates.
The skates are left
behind.
all and sundry.
Right.
Yeah.
Behind the car.
No, just everywhere.
Right. And then what do you say?
Did I tell you not to leave these?
Yeah.
You keep leaving these skates everywhere. I'm going to throw them away.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you're blaming them, it's a space in which they can't even defend themselves.
No.
So the first thing we have to do is remember that children are children, and the reason they're living with us is because they can't live by themselves. They're children.
Right.
And they need guidance all the time, and they need their lives managed. As we are teaching them to manage their lives. Even adults, in any office setting, any work setting, people need to be managed. So you just need to remember that. So people leave their toys all over the place. People leave their toys all over the place, and it's have you put your toys away?
Yeah.
Remember, before you come into the house, you put your toys away. Yeah. Remember, before dinner, you put your toys away. Remember, before your bath, you put your toys away. Have you put your toys away?
How many times do I have to tell you to put your toys away? There's literally no answer. There's no correct answer.
There's no correct answer. There's no correct answer.
He can't say 6.
Yeah.
Kyo, I keep telling you to put your toys away.
Yeah.
Why aren't you listening?
So, because we know that these are children and they can't live by themselves, it is KO, toys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
5 minutes. And then you turn around and you go away. And then, because you have something else that you wanted to see, just say 2 words, KO, toys.
Okay.
Then you don't find yourself getting agitated all the time. Because it works you up. How many times? You're raising your voice, you're yelling. It's less words. It's really less words. So it's a practice. It's a practice knowing that my job is I'm the overseer. Okay. So I'm not putting the toys away, but I'm just making sure the toys are put away. Just like the way a team reports to the manager. Yeah. The manager comes, okay, report, meeting, report. So everybody, somebody, and there's always somebody who didn't do something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So same case scenario.
Okay.
But with time, children do actually learn to put their things away. With time, they do learn to have the space in order.
Yes.
But there will be the, times that they don't.
Okay.
Yeah. So then to find that it is okay. But then not to be in the place where, because we're having this conversation, that their toys are always out. Their toys the place is always a mess. So there's a balance. Name calling. No name calling. You will find sometimes you call them names.
Thank God I don't do that.
Yeah,
I was very intentional about that.
Yeah. I was also very intentional about that. You can say you're just a goldfish. You forget all the time. And that's a gentle one. So
okay.
No name calling.
No name calling.
Yeah.
All right.
You just remind them. And you'll find, because it all pans out. If you do it right, it all pans out. So the forgetfulness, or that they gather. Like my youngest, she's got many little things that she gathers. And you think, one of these, we need to throw these things out. So it's stones, it's feathers, it's it's things. It's dead beetles. So then my job is to make sure that she learns how to keep things. Do I have? Have I got a whole bunch of little containers? Have I provided shelving for your dead beetle? Have I provided shelving and drawers and things? You provide the space for who they are.
Yes.
Because you might find yourself a minimalist, and that's how you want to run your house.
If I lived alone.
Lecturizing and moralizing. Children don't respond.
And they really couldn't care less.
Preteens, teens, nobody, even us as adults, we don't respond to lecturing. So just no lecturing. And sometimes we find ourselves in that space. Where you're lecturing and you're like, what am I doing? Later is when you're like, what did I do? You are lecturing because you're upset. Because we're raising children in a space where we are doing so many other things as well. You have a job, you have a hustle.
You have other children.
You have a husband or a wife. You have family. There's something's going on.
Something is always going on.
So then you come back and then something wasn't done, or something is always not being done. So then you resort to lecturing. Lecturing just bears no fruit. In a space where you find yourself just about to do that, then you really need to take time out. Okay, just give me 5 minutes. Or just come back after half an hour so that you can, just decompress. Whether you're going to
and plan what you're going to say.
You
did ABCD, that's against the rule. We're going to do this consequence. Move on.
And then you move on.
And then you complain, like debrief with your partner or your sister or your mother.
Yes.
Not with the child.
Not with the child. Not with the child. And it really is an exercise, because when you're upset, you're upset. When you're upset, you're upset. So when you catch yourself, you have to stop yourself when you catch yourself. And then you find yourself, you did it, have the capacity to be able to come back and say, okay, I apologize, guys. I just apologize. This. And then warnings. This is a really big one. Don't do that or you'll fall. Don't go there or you'll fall into the water. Don't do that or you'll burn yourself. No. They're not going to burn themselves. They're not going to fall. That's your fear. That's
That you're projecting.
Don't go too close. Don't say, or you will. Or you will get run over by the car. Or you will. You're projecting something. You're projecting a fear. And it is a legit fear. If you're playing on the road, you get hit by a car.
But if you're playing at the edge of the pool, fact.
But it is not a fact.
It's a possibility.
It's a possibility. Careful at the edge of the pool. When a child is playing, a small child, even a child as small as K, is playing around a pool, he has no risk of falling in. Did you know that? When they're playing a number of children around the pool, then he has the risk of falling in.
But when he's alone,
but when he's alone, there's no risk of him falling in.
Wow, I didn't know that.
When there are many, because then they're running and they're chasing and that sort of thing, then one might fall in.
But children are very self-preserving.
Yes.
Very self-preserving.
And you can see when they're climbing up the burglar proofing, or when they're climbing up a tree, they have got a firm grip.
Yes.
So they're climbing up a tree, and you're worried because you don't climb trees. And you're worried you're going to fall. No, but just look at their grip.
Yeah.
Yeah, just look at their grip. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just make sure you see all the branches.
Yes.
So you just make sure you see
all the
branches.
I've resorted to saying, okay, make smart choices.
Right.
Do you know where you're going to put your hand next?
There you go.
Do you know, is your footing good? Secure.
Right.
So I've resorted to not saying be careful or whatever, but it's like make smart choices. Think through your next move.
Yeah.
When you're doing something, then I'm like, this person is going to fall down.
Yeah. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. But I catch myself very often saying, oh, you're going to fall down. Yeah. You're going so fast, you're going to fall down.
And this one of don't do that or you'll get dirty. My God, that one drives me up the wall.
Yeah.
Children are supposed to get dirty.
They're supposed to be dirty.
They're supposed to get dirty.
Children are dirty.
You're supposed to buy the kind of clothing like workman clothing.
Yeah. Dungarees. Or like those overalls.
Yeah. It's the kind of fabric that can take a beating.
Yeah.
The kind of fabric you throw into the washing machine. If it comes back and it's still got a bit of a stain, it's okay. They were playing. It's okay.
Absolutely.
The stain is okay.
Yeah, they're okay to play.
Yeah. So unless you're going for a photo shoot or you're showing up for a wedding, then don't say don't play or you'll get dirty.
Yeah.
They're supposed to get dirty, and you're supposed to clothe them for getting dirty. Martyrdom statements. Don't do that or you'll give me a heart attack.
Oh my God.
Nobody's gonna.
You're breaking my heart.
You're breaking my heart. Yes, you're breaking my heart.
And Kwanzaa, that one is such a slippery slope.
Yeah.
Because that is what that's what abusers tell children.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
That is right.
That is what abusers don't, oh, you're making me so sad, you don't want to kiss me.
Right.
Oh, you're making grandma so upset, you don't want to hug her.
Of course, that's where it starts.
That's where it starts. Oh, just hug grandma, just a little hug. So that she doesn't feel bad. Please, children are not in charge of adults' emotions.
No emotions, not at all.
They're just not.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not in charge of your emotions.
Not at all.
So now how can a child be in charge of mine? No.
And you're making me so angry.
Yeah.
Don't make me so angry.
Yeah. Nobody can make you angry.
Nobody can make you so angry.
Yeah.
Nobody can make you angry. You're in charge of your own emotions. So if they have done something, they have done it.
Yeah.
And they broke the window.
Yes.
Because children break windows. It's a given. But children break windows. If you have children and they play with balls, windows will break. It's a given. It's like buying bread. You buy bread and then tomorrow again you buy bread. So the same thing with windows. Same thing with windows. Windows will break.
Okay.
So I taught my boys because I wanted them to play soccer. I wanted them to do that. And so I'm looking after children, not looking after windows. So I taught them how to replace the window pane. And we went around the house, looked at the different ways that Fundis have put window panes, looked at the neat ones and the messy ones. And I said, okay, so this is how you're going to do it. When the window breaks, I have a chisel and a hammer, and they chip off the remaining bits of glass. And then taught them how to measure the frame.
Right.
If the window pane is a touch too big, it won't fit in.
Right.
If it's a touch too small, it won't fit in.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to go back to the glass mat.
Right.
And then I taught them what to do with the putty.
Right.
Yeah. And they do.
They fix it.
Fix it. I've never had to fix a window. I didn't break windows because
Yeah.
I didn't play with soccer balls outside.
Okay.
But then these are people playing with soccer balls. Better know how to fix windows. Yeah, and I taught them where the glass mat is. They walk down to the glass mat.
And that's an example of a consequence that teaches a certain behavior.
That's right.
And a responsibility. A lot of people, you were saying about swinging the pendulum. You swing the pendulum so you think that consequences are synonymous with punishment.
Right.
If you break a window, you clean up the mess and then you replace the window. That is a consequence for life. It's not a punishment. I'm not punishing you for breaking the window.
Yeah. So I hear a window crashing. I'm somewhere in the house and I hear a window crashing.
Yeah.
I'm like,
you're like, okay.
Is everybody okay? Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. Okay.
All right.
Which window is that? Okay. How much is the window pane? It costs like 200 and something bob.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's get with it.
Let's get on with it.
Yeah.
They fix the window pane.
That's it.
So they're not making. So if I get angry, it's I have chosen anger.
Yeah.
But it really is not.
No.
So that's really a big one in getting your children to pay attention to you. Otherwise, it's just a lot of wow, 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 wow. Mommy's always upset.
Gosh, I like that one. I like that.
Yeah, comparisons. We do not do comparisons.
Yes.
That doesn't work. It never works, because we're very aware, you know, unlike when we were growing up. When we were growing up, it was a tool.
Why couldn't you?
Yeah, like so and so. Why aren't you like your sister?
Yeah. It's used as a tool to shame you.
It's used so our parents' generation used it as a tool because they felt it was effective.
Yeah.
But we know it's not effective.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
And also, our parents are not the same generation.
All right.
My parents did not use comparison.
My parents used comparison. My parents' generation used comparison. And you know, they were not being bad people.
No.
They were just using the tools
our
they
parents
had.
never being bad people.
No,
all these things that we're trying to do, we're just trying to do our best.
Yeah. To do our best.
Yeah.
So you know, comparisons was used a lot, but then it doesn't work. It shames, and it makes your person feel small.
Yeah.
And then they're dealing with that.
Yeah.
So when you're trying to teach, especially if you're trying to teach something, and you're frustrated because they're not getting it, and the reason why you get frustrated when you're teaching, when you feel people say I'm too impatient to teach. I always ask. I'm impatient to teach.
I'm teaching these children by the grace of God.
So I ask, is there something's behind the impatience?
Okay.
Is it that you feel you should be doing something else? Sometimes it's coming from there. Why am I standing here still talking about this? I need to be doing something else.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Usually it's coming from there. So if you're
goodness.
able to address that, why am I feeling I need to be somewhere else?
Yeah.
Then you know, come to terms with that. Okay.
Yes.
So what is it I'm supposed to be doing somewhere else? You need to stop this. Go and do whatever you're doing, or put it on pause.
Come back when you have enough time.
Yeah. And then when you're here teaching this, whatever it is, whether it's a life skill or whether it's part of their academic work, you're here completely. This is where I'm supposed to be. I'm not supposed to be anywhere else. This is where I'm supposed to be. Yeah. And you're not just trying to get them to get the right answer.
No.
You're trying to teach them. You're striving to give them something for life. So this is where you're supposed to be. When you get past that, then you find your impatience dissipates.
I love that. I'm going to use that.
Sarcasm. Sarcasm can be used.
So you've come to shout at me. Okay.
Sarcasm can be used to a limit. Sarcasm is fun. Sarcasm is language.
And Kendi uses sarcasm.
He does it. He picked it from his people.
No, Kendi, my daughter.
Yeah, she picked
it from me. Yeah, so she will tell her brother, "Oh, Keo, don't worry about your math. I'll clear up everything for you. You're a good boy. You don't have to do anything."
So sarcasm is fun to some limitations. Sometimes sarcasm is used and it really cuts deep.
Yes.
And it's not. Not. I mean, you can use sarcasm with somebody you don't care about out there. Somebody who was being, you know, one way.
Right. Yes.
Caused some trouble. But then when you're at home with your people, you have to think through how much it is. But you know, and it's a play of language.
It is.
And it's fun.
And it's fun. But you have to be a certain age to understand it.
Prophecy.
No!
Prophecy. You're prophesying the future.
It prophecy.
Yeah. It's prophecy. When you say if you do that, you'll end up like
you
this.
will end up.
Yeah. If you do that, if you choose that profession, you'll end up as a beggar.
Wow.
Yeah. Or if you choose that profession, you'll end up poor.
Yeah, you're not a prophet.
Yeah. You're not
a prophet.
You're not a prophet.
Stop.
Yeah. So don't prophesy. I mean, we don't know right now. We don't know the jobs that will be available 15 years down the road.
Yeah, we didn't even know this job was going to be available. This job that I'm doing.
And a legitimate one.
And this job that you're doing.
That the government is taxing now.
Can you believe that? So now we are legitimate because we are being taxed.
Surely.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when you know you're legitimate.
That's when you know you're legitimate, when you are paying tax.
Yeah, taxman knows about you and he's coming after you. And so we don't know. We don't know what tomorrow looks like. We don't know.
Also, I'm sorry about the noise. My neighbors always start construction whenever I'm shooting. I have absolutely no. This is a very quiet neighborhood, and then when I start to shoot, there's a little dog that barks endlessly.
Right.
So now we're on the other side of the house, so now we can't hear the dog barking. But all of a sudden now there is construction. Right. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
New life.
That's right. That's right. So my daughter, for instance. So for instance, my youngest, when she was collecting all her stuff, she slowed down because now she's a teen. She's actually away at camp right now. So excited. I could see her as being, I mean, my parents' generation called that
Hoarding,
but you know, you're collecting things like a madman, like a madman. Yeah.
Right.
Because they're odd things. They're feathers. They're rocks. You know, there's dead beetles.
So
and
it's like witchcraft.
it could be. But so you know, I'm looking at her doing this, and I know that she's creative.
Yes.
She's got a creative streak in her, and she collects things. She sees beauty in everything. She sees a promise and a potential in things. Yeah. So okay, collect, and my job is to provide space for it. So no prophesying. So as an adult, if you experience some of these emotions, can you imagine how children deal with it? Yeah. And then when you're teaching children anything, like for us, we're homeschoolers. So when I'm talking to the homeschooling community and I'm talking to them about, you know, how to implement their curriculums and how to teach, how to set themselves up. If there's something unsettled with the child or children, they're not going to learn. They're not learning.
Okay.
Yeah. It's you have to clear the space.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
So
get
maybe the cat is missing.
Right.
Yeah. And last night, they got up this morning. No cat. And maybe you heard dogs barking last night. So then they're worried about the cat, but then you're worried about the time because you've got the day's program, the day's schedule. So you get everybody seated and somebody's preoccupied. And then you're trying to teach multiplication or division, and it's not happening. So if you get irritated, there's absolutely nothing you're doing there. Or maybe yesterday you went to visit grandma and grandma was unwell. So they've never seen grandma on her back. Now she's unwell, and they're very concerned about that. And you didn't break it down for them, and here they're sitting in class. So
or even you let it slip that you're going on a trip tomorrow.
There you go. Yeah.
And you want me to learn multiplication tomorrow is Mombasa? You must be out of your mind.
They saw the suitcases packed.
I'm going to Mombasa. I'm already in Mombasa.
Yeah. So it's really spending 10 minutes talking about it.
Okay.
Yeah, you sit 10 minutes.
Let's bring it up. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Okay. So if it's a missing cat, okay, what do we need to do? Do we need to stop right now and go look for the cat? Do we need to look for the cat at break time? Or what are we going to do?
Okay.
But you have to address it. Because when you address it, then they come back.
And I've felt shouted at. I'm usually the one doing the shouting, but today I'm like, oh my gosh. I've felt shouted at, and I've truly learned something. That thing of you will. Right. Don't do ABCD because you will.
Yeah. See it on the other side. Then the other thing, and that's why I love talking to people like you, is that to always be in a place where you're teachable. If you think that because you're done with school and college you've arrived,
you know everything,
or because you're scaling your profession that you have arrived and you know everything, it's going to be downhill for you. Yeah. Life is learning. You're learning all the way. This is the first time when you're having a baby. It's the first time you're having a baby at this age.
Yes.
When your baby is one, it's the first time you have a 1-year-old at that age. Every step is the first time. So every step you're learning.
And I see how I need my mother.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm 37. That's how much further I have to go and more.
Yeah. So when I watch your mom, and I watch your mom's sister, who is somebody I also go to,
yes,
I can see that parenting is a forever thing. They have grown children, but
like
they are
grown,
engaged. Because
literally.
parenting for them then takes up, it's another level. It's
It's a different level. Now
Yeah.
you're parenting like me and my husband.
Yeah.
Now you're parenting my in-laws.
Yeah.
Through
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
It's something else.
It is something else.
Yeah.
So you must be teachable. You must be teachable, and you must be aware, because you wake up in the morning and there's a problem that needs to be addressed. So if you tell yourself, I need an answer, you pray, I need an answer, and if you're alert, it comes. It might even come from the woman selling you a ruse. It comes, or from something that you're watching. Yeah, it comes when you're seeing two people having a conversation. The solution comes, but only if you're in the space of, I'm constantly learning.
Wow.
Yeah.
Standing ovation. Thank you for coming. Thank you
You're
for
most
calling
welcome.
me. Thank you for offering to do this. I really needed it. I didn't know I did.
Oh really?
Yes. I really needed it, and I hope you guys have learned something. I mean, if you haven't, that's now your own fault.
So I talk to people.
Later.
I talk to people one-on-one.
Yeah.
I do small groups, and then
All
I'll do
right,
bigger
so I can
groups.
put I'll put your contacts in the description box.
Oh, great.
And then people can reach out to you.
All right.
Guys, so if you need her, reach out to her directly. I'll put her email and her number, and so that you can reach her and she can come and speak to your chama or your women's group or your sisters or your brothers, whatever it may be, and let us all learn something from it.
And I speak to men as well. I like
Yeah.
to speak to the dads.
Yeah.
Dads
Parenting.
collectively, because sometimes the dads have they've got this gender role thing going on in their head about how they engage or don't engage.
Right.
So I like to have conversations with dads as well.
Very good, very good. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, bye.
Bye. Bye.